Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. So in this quick video we're going to be talking about being the rising tide in your workshop. Now this is both a good and bad thing, so I'm hoping to share with you a few pros and cons to this type of working style, if you will. So what does it mean to be the rising tide in your workshop? What it means in my workshop and what it usually means all around the globe workshops is that you spend a lot of time raising all ships. So that means all jobs at once. That means when you've got a fire lit in your forge, you're going to be heating up multiple projects. You know, that old adage of maybe having too many irons in the fire. Well, that's this guy. That's this guy right here. But usually for efficiency's sake, say if you're going to have a fire lit, you go ahead and take the time to have that fire lit, and then you have the fire lit, so you're going to just add other bars of material in there for other projects as long as they're not super complex what you're doing. You know, similar, like let's say you had meat skewers and fire pokers to do. Well, both those require tapering. So if you're going to be doing a lot of tapering, you might as well have multiple bars in the fire to get a bunch of work done. Where it's not so handy to do that is when you have tapering to do, you've got punching to do, you've got slitting and drifting or some other work that requires a little bit more complex forgings, and then having too many irons in the fire kind of applies there. But where it applies in my business and the way I structure my business is one of those things. I try to incorporate YouTube videos with my regular orders from customers. I have long-term projects. I have like pet projects that I'm working on currently for clients. I've got custom orders that I don't share online at all, and I just don't share the customers' orders at all, whether it be for whatever social media gain there, because sometimes I'm not contractually not obligated, but I'm not contractually allowed. That's the word I was looking for. I'm not contractually allowed to take and show the jobs that I'm working on. So therefore, it's a big balance. It's a big trick, right? There's this big trick that I have to work through to take and get all of this work out through the door. And what that leads to is that leads to scheduling fiascos like you wouldn't believe, because I may be working on 4 jobs already at once, but I've got a new job that comes through the door that's going to supply me for my next 2-3 months. So yet I have to bid. I have to say, yes, I want to do that job. I have to bring in the materials for that. There's additional things that are always involved when you're running your business, from quote work to listings. If you bring on YouTube and you're starting to do social media and everything else, that can be a whole subject in and of itself, and when it falls all squarely on your shoulders, it can feel like quite a bit. So those are some of the upsides and downsides to being the rising tide in your workshop. Some people find it super handy. I know my wife does, Jessica. She really finds it super handy to have a list, and whatever was at the top of the list last week, that's at the top of this list this week until it's done. And she is very efficient in that way too, so it's very valid for the way that she likes to do things. For me specifically, it's a lot of fun because Jessica, you know, she'll be like, oh, you're still working on job whatever, such and such, and I'm like, no, I've got that done, and oh, I've got 5 other jobs done all at once. She's like, how did you get all those done at once? It's because I've been working on all 5 jobs for like the last 2 months. It looked like I didn't get anything done for 2 months, but I was working on multiple projects at once versus having those little victories. So it's really up to you. You need to choose what will work best for you in your business, in your shop. Now, say you're not doing this for a business, and say you're doing this for a hobby, or let's say you're just getting into it. My advice for someone who's just getting into this is get hyper-focused on one job. Don't worry about efficiency so much at this time. What you need to be worrying about is character and skill development when it comes to forging and what you are doing. That is the most important part for you yourself is to work on the character or skill development of your potential business or of your hobby. And you really can't bypass that step. When you get better and better at blacksmithing, and you get jobs become easier and easier, and the fundamental processes become more and more like second nature, like breathing or drinking water. When those fundamental processes get there for you, then you can start worrying about being efficient and getting a lot better in your craft as far as with the time that you have, whether it be 4 hours every evening, whether it be 4 hours once a week. So that's it. Just wanted to share some thoughts on that real quick. Drop me a comment, please. Drop me a comment down in the comment section down below and tell a little bit about where you're at. Are you a beginner? Are you a hobbyist for many years? Are you doing this as a business? And how do you do that? Drop that down in the comment section down below. If you guys like this video, please by all means like it. If it's your first time here at Christ Center Ironworks, please hit that subscribe button, jingly bell for all notifications. We're always coming out with some good stuff every single week. So make sure to do that. And if you've been watching for a while and you'd like to support what we do here, you can always check out one of our power hammer plans over at blacksmithpdfs.com. Anyways, God bless you. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.